So, when is GPT-5 coming out again?
I don't know. That's the honest answer.
Oh, that's the honest answer. Is it blink twice if it's this year?
We will release an amazing new model this year. I don't know what we'll call it.
So that goes to the question of like, what's the way we release this thing?
We'll release over in the coming months many different things. I think they'll be very cool. I think before we talk about like a GPT-5 like model called that or not called that or a little bit worse or a little bit better than what you'd expect from a GPT-5, I think we have a lot of other important things to release first.
I don't know what to expect from GPT-5. You're making me nervous and excited.
Many ChatGPT, OpenAI, or Sam Altman fans probably recognize this little snippet right around midway point of a recent Lex Fridman podcast. Now, I mean recent, it was roughly a month ago, specifically March 18th, 2024. And Lex Fridman's asking Sam Altman in a pretty cheeky way about the ChatGPT 5 launch because everyone is asking Sam Altman about that. And he knows it's a little bit of an awkward question that Sam Altman, with his amazing PR skills, never really answers properly. And I swear when it comes to ChatGPT 5, we're all just a bunch of junkies where we've grown a tolerance to our current supply, in this case ChatGPT 4, and we're looking for a stronger fix. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing everything I've been able to find regarding ChatGPT 5. The best place to start is typically a timeline so we have a good bird's eye view of what's going on. I found a pretty simple overview right here, and in December 22, that's when ChatGPT launched. I came out with a video regarding ChatGPT at that time, and then just roughly a year later, ChatGPT reaches 100 million monthly users, a faster rate adoption than Instagram or TikTok. This was the app that everyone was talking about and still is talking about. I've been actually subscribed to ChatGPT Plus ever since this came out, and a big reason for that was originally to get ChatGPT 3.5 and to get more tokens. This came out March 15th, 2022, roughly 2 years ago, and check this out, on ChatGPT 4, this came out roughly 13 months ago, March 14th, 2023. And this is why this is such a hot topic right now, because both of them came out in March. The podcast was in March with Lex Fridman, Sam Altman, and now it's May and we still don't have a new release, although they've been coming out in these roughly 1 year increments. So we're definitely on the tail end of when we typically would expect a new release. Although we are really only on version 4, so we don't have that much historical data. I'm always a really big fan of going to the source with anything. For example, going to Sam Altman's Twitter or OpenAI's Twitter. And he's been a little bit cheeky himself regarding ChatGPT 5. Here he says, I'm a good GPT-2 chatbot. He even says, I do have a soft spot for GPT-2. And there's something really interesting he says in a recent interview I'm going to share in a second regarding I have a soft spot for GPT-2 that I think is a really important thing for us to reflect on. And this is a retweet here that I find quite important. Let me actually double click on this one, open it up. You can see since the launch of ChatGPT 4 Turbo, there's actually been significant improvements with ChatGPT Turbo 4 that we're using now. What Sam also mentions in this podcast, he talks about that there's constantly new releases being done. So it's not just this big ChatGPT 5 update, but he kind of wants to prime us for the updates that are coming. You can also find a lot of information on community.openai.com where they have all their latest announcements. There's actually a funny thread here. Are we already using ChatGPT 4.5? And this is something that Sam Altman alludes to, that ChatGPT 4 is always being updated. It's a little bit different than ChatGPT version 3 and then 3.5. They're just having a version 4. And there was a time where you can actually hack ChatGPT and give it an answer to say ChatGPT 4.5 Turbo is what it's being used. Nowadays, you get a different answer where OpenAI's ChatGPT architecture. This is actually the answer that I'm getting right now, and it is the 8th of May 2024. And there's a lot of people trying to figure out more about this. And I gotta say, this sliding icon here on the right is really, really cool, specifically what date periods it covers. I have ChatGPT in several of my SaaS projects. You do see all the versions out. People were talking about ChatGPT 4.5. I did miss that, so if it was here, I missed it. So all I can find in the API documentation is ChatGPT 4, Turbo, and non-turbo. But I think a big point is that ChatGPT is always being updated in the past. And if you scroll down a little bit further, Sam Altman was recently teasing some really good AI-based videos. I mean, check out this. Somebody basically provides Sam Altman a prompt, and then he'll just throw out some AI generated video right away for the user. And look at this. This is insane quality AI. I mean, look at those diamonds on the leg. That is really next level. Here's a bicycle race in the ocean with different animals. Here, for example, is the instructions, an instructional cooking session for homemade gnocchi hosted by a grandmother social media influencer set in a rustic Tuscany country kitchen with cinematic lighting. I gotta say, this is just mind-blowingly good. So if you click on this comment, you'll see that Sam Altman asked people to send them prompts, and now he's basically posting those videos to these prompts, which I find really cool. So they're always showing what's to come. I think this is one of my favorite right here, 2 golden retrievers podcasting on top of a mountain. I just can't get over it. The prompt and also how realistic it is. I'll let you guys enjoy this AI generated video while I share some expected rumors regarding ChatGPT 5. First of all, it's supposed to be generally smarter. And the way they do that is they're having 20 times more expected tokens in terms of memory. So right now it can remember up to 10,000 words, roughly 33,000 tokens, and that's supposed to 20x all the way to 200,000 words at a time, which means it's going to be able to dissect big documents, books, videos, movies, and much more, which will make it much more interactive. It's supposed to be a better coder in general. There's a partnership with SOF, which is going to be a big part. I want to share a little bit more about that in a second. There's going to be more multimedia functionality. For example, right now it can identify text in an image really well and tell you about it. But in the future, if you upload, let's say, a dog chasing something, it'll give you a whole background story behind that. It'll also have much more personalized answers. It'll better understand you and how you like your answers. So really a little bit of everything. It was what Sam Altman often refers to, a little bit more data, a little bit more memory, more compute power, and so on and so forth. Really, the list is endless, and man, just watching these videos is absolutely crazy. I was trying to do a lot of AI video generated stuff just like 2-3 months ago, and it was nowhere near this good. So I mean, this space is growing remarkably fast. Let's move on because Sam Altman's been really busy with PR. He was at Stanford where he was being interviewed. This is a pretty, oh man, let's just say cumbersome podcast. I wasn't the biggest fan of this one, although it has almost 300,000 views in just, 7 days? No comments are allowed on this one, and I'm not really surprised. It was a little bit awkward. But he did say something really interesting around 12:13 that I actually went ahead and tweeted. The moderator just complimented Sam Altman about ChatGPT 4 and asked some follow-up questions, and this is what Sam Altman actually says. Here we go.
Well, first of all, that's nice of you to say, but ChatGPT is not phenomenal. Like, ChatGPT is, mildly embarrassing at best. GPT-4 is the dumbest model any of you will ever have to use again by a lot. But, it's, important to ship early and often, and we believe in iterative deployment. Like, if we go build AGI in a basement, and then, the world is, kind of blissfully walking blindfolded along. I don't think that makes us very good neighbors. So I think it's important, given what we believe is going to happen, to express our view about what we believe is going to happen. But more than that, the way to do it is to put the product in people's hands.
I thought this was really important because he shows that ChatGPT 4.5 and continuous updates, like we were talking about in the beginning of this video, but he also shares the exact mindset he has regarding developing this in the public, letting you guys have your hands on it, and not really keeping things a secret. For example, the multimedia upload is something we've been doing now with ChatGPT 4, although it's expected for ChatGPT 5, because we can already upload images and other content to ChatGPT 4, and I remember it was a couple months ago where that just popped up and I was able to start using it. Now there's another interview done at MIT. I think this one was a lot more organized, and at 4629. I think he gives a really good answer to all of us eager beavers focused on ChatGPT 5. Let's go ahead and watch this.
And this is just speaking personally. This is not a well-reasoned or defensive, like logically defended thing at all. This is just what I feel. I do feel like I know I'm going to be nostalgic for this time. And it's sort of a strange thing to like feel that while you're living through it.
So the way I actually interpret this is basically focus on the present and stop getting anxiety on the future. I, for one, can say every time I look back in my past, and even if it's a moment that was really tough or a time that was really tough, I honestly smile and think what I would give to be able to go back to that time period. So if you're ever stressing out, just think how you're going to feel about this exact moment in the future, and that should give you some peace. I know it does for me, and it makes me realize that I should just be enjoying every moment, even if it's tough. Now, going forward, he does say some really good things around 4906.
I think, at least for the next 3-4 model generations, I believe we can make it so incredibly much better every time. We should focus on that. And if we can do that, everything else will kind of work out.
So this is a part that gets me really excited because clearly he's got a lot more information in his back pocket that he's not sharing with us. So I do think ChatGPT 5 is going to be another one of those wow factors. Now, regarding the coding, this is actually a really big topic that just dropped. Let me zoom in a little bit here, but you'll see it May 6, 2024. This is on OpenAI's blog. And they have an API partnership with Stack Overflow. So there's an Overflow AI system now, and it's powered by ChatGPT. And this is something that makes a lot of sense. I use ChatGPT primarily for coding, and this should probably make ChatGPT a lot better because there's going to be, because I think it's like roughly 50 million Q&As of code, actually right here. Stack Overflow is the world's largest developer community with more than 59 million questions and answers that it's going to have access to. The problem is a lot of the developers are really, really upset about this because I know for myself, I spent years on Stack Overflow answering and asking questions, and now other companies are profiting off of that. To me personally, I don't care as much because I always figured it was public domain and other people were going to benefit from my questions that I asked or answered. So it's not something that I really am that sensitive about, but there's a lot of developers that are upset about this, and I'm going to share exactly why. And this is from ex-user Nixcraft, who's got a lot of followers and looks like they're a serial developer. LOL Stack Overflow mods, so moderators, are experiencing some frustration as several users have been deleting their answers since the announcement with OpenAI partnership. As a result, they started suspending accounts that engage in this behavior, where they're trying to delete their content. We'll read this in a second. It's important to note that right to forget no longer applies to your answers as per Stack Overflow terms and conditions, which grant them special permissions to retain all answers. Also, restoring individual posts from backups seems hard. So this is crazy. If you go ahead and delete your Q&As on Stack Overflow, they're actually going to go ahead and restore them because they want to preserve all that data. Although it does seem like restoring individual posts seems like a lot of work. And this is actually an example right here. So someone deleted their answer. This was their answer here on the right side. And they said, why does OpenAI get to profit from our work? I have removed this question in protest of Stack Overflow's decision to partner with OpenAI. And then, so they basically deleted it, and then Stack Overflow mods put it right back again. Now, this is a lot of manual work, so their mods are totally overwhelmed, and that's why they're sending out this email to users who are engaging in these practices. Hello, we're writing in reference to your Stack Overflow account. You have recently removed or defaced content from your post. That sounds like you spray painted a building. Please note that once you post a question or answer to the site, those posts become part of the collective efforts of others who have also contributed to that content. I guess that part kind of makes a lot of sense because I need to read all content to understand sometimes a question. They continue to go on to say, because of the amount of disruption these incidents can cause, we have placed your account on hold for 7 days while you reach out to us to avoid any further misunderstandings. They also say it's a lot of work to remove the content. So this person was put on hold for defacing their own content on this platform, which is a little bit crazy, you gotta say. But it just goes to show, once your content is in the public domain, it's in the public domain. Good luck getting rid of it. I definitely recommend checking out this Sora by OpenAI, which we were showing some videos about earlier. I mean, these videos are just absolutely crazy. So this is most likely already ChatGPT 5. I just got sidetracked watching this video. This is so good. This honestly looks like a real movie that I'm about to watch. And this is really, I think, the pinnacle of what Sam Altman is talking about. ChatGPT 5 is already out. They're releasing parts of it slowly to the public. So there's not just this big wham moment where we're totally frozen. In regards to when you can actually use some of these things yourself on chatgpt.com, it seems like it can happen any day, any week, or month now. And based on what Sam Altman says, it looks like we're definitely going to be getting something before the end of the year. My God, look at this video. This is crazy. This is like one of those Blue World documentaries. Jesus. This is honestly overwhelming. I did want to say that these videos, although seemingly simple, take me hours, if not days, to research, often because I get sucked into many rabbit holes, which I don't shy away from because who knows what kind of gems I'm going to find, which will hopefully benefit all of us. So if you found value in the video, you can return the favor by subscribing, hitting that like, and best of all, dropping a comment. It means a lot. Cheers and see you next time.